Bonjour and greetings. It's Deep Thoughts by Heather Peterson Lockhart with boom rockin' lit arm warmers. I know. How fun is that? Like it's the gift that that keeps on. Oh yeah, that gives on giving. I know. Like while I'm driving. Okay, knock it off. All fun and games still. That's not even funny. I just thought I'd share a little connected dots that I had and how, well, obviously if I'm having this now, how much it made an impact on me. In the last 24 hours, I got to teach my son a couple of things that were super cool. He came home yesterday and he was saying that he didn't eat a sandwich. And I said, why didn't you eat your sandwich? And he said, well, the teacher said it was time for circle time. And he looks at me and he says, you know, Mom, I have to do what the teacher says. And I said, I know you have to do what the teacher says, but why weren't you eating your sandwich when it was time for you to eat your sandwich? And he says, oh, what did he say? He said, I had to sing. She told us to sing, and I've been there. They sing a prayer song. They don't sing the whole lunch. And so I'm thinking, you know, you little fibber. And he says, Mom, I have to do what the other kids do, you know? And he says it real serious, like I'm just not understanding. And I said, hey, you did good listening to your teacher. You are supposed to listen to your teacher and do what the other kids do. But that's not the problem. The problem is not that so-and-so said circle time. The problem is that you weren't eating your sandwich when you were supposed to be eating your sandwich. That's the problem. He kind of looks at me and I was like, you were the problem here, not her. What a valuable lesson to be able to learn. Like, I think that the program of the 12 steps should be taught in the first grade to those who aren't afforded the luxury and option of being taught these things at home. I wasn't taught that lesson. I learned that much later. And so I'm so grateful for that. That was number one. And then number two is I got to teach my son something that I remember when my mother taught me this. I've been hard-headed ever since I can remember. I mean, like, I think I came out the womb like obstinate, retarded, and a slow learner, you know, resistant to authority, conflict with others, right? Anyway, so no amount of like browbeating and punishment really ever fazed me. I was, you know, you can tie me behind your car and drive me for miles and I'll still be on, like, you know, F your mother. I'm hardwired that way. I don't submit, I don't quit. But the one thing that did impact me was, I forget what the scenario was, but she chose to take a certain scenario where I guess I had my feelings hurt. And she says to me, do you know how you felt then? Think about how you felt. And I could remember, you know, it was close enough that I remember it just made me feel horrible. It made me feel yucky. I don't remember what it was, but I remember the feeling. And I remember looking at her and she's like, that's how you just made so-and-so feel. And I felt shame about that. I felt guilt and I felt shame about that. But it was funny because no amount of spanking, punishment, grounding, withholding, whatever, like really, like I learned the lesson. I learned that if I did that, I was going to suffer repercussions, but I didn't feel anything about it. It did not wound me that I wounded another human being. Empathy. I didn't have any empathy until it was taught to me. I'm teaching my children empathy. I think our world is a lost place without empathy. That's my thought for today. Thank you for tuning in. This message was approved by Heather Peterson Lockhart. Thank you all. God bless.